Hi folks, Russ here having more Daisy lever gun fun. Today we're going to talk about how I make these Red Ryder type mare's legs. Now I love using the Red Ryders for this because, as you'll see, it has just about everything you'd like to see on a mare's leg. It gives you the effect of a lever gun. It has the straight stock look. It's got a loop on the lever, an authentic saddle ring type accoutrement right here. And the Red Ryder has more of this than you might think you could find in any other type. I used to use a buck rifle for this, the 105s. What you didn't get was an adjustable sight. You didn't get the forearm. That had to be added in the forearm band. The front sight sometimes had to be changed because an older type gun like this should have a solid ramp style front sight and not the fiber optic that you get on a lot of the bucks. It didn't have the saddle ring on it, so that had to be added in some way. About the only thing it did have going for it was the straight stock and the straight lever that I was able to put a loop on. So I usually ended up using two guns to make them. I would take the lever and the stock from a buck, and I would use the receiver and everything on the front from a Red Ryder. So I started to think, that's not very efficient. What I would like to be able to do is use everything from the Red Ryder that I possibly could. The only thing I found a problem with is not so much changing the cocking lever to a straight one. They're pretty plentiful. You can get those anywhere. You can get them right from Daisy if you need to. You can scab them off of other guns. The stock was the issue. Whenever I tried to cut the stock from a Red Ryder, because of the profile of it and that curve, which had that sort of a pistol grip effect, I ended up having to make a back cut on the butt of the stock. And what I like is this type of cut. So to get around that, what I found I could do is take the stock from a Red Ryder and cut it straight on the bottom. This is what you have. This little piece here is what would be the bottom edge of the pistol grip. And to be able to make this cut without having this sticking down on here and not looking the way I wanted it to look, I simply took a straight line back to where the stock profile was, took it on my bandsaw, cut that section off, a little sanding, little belt work, and now this is ready to go. Also, one of the things that I do is I like to put a metal butt plate on my guns. And whenever I'm making one of these little mare's leg guns, get some fuzz there. Whenever I'm making one of these little mare's leg guns, you'll see the metal I put on here is fairly thick. I don't use steel. I think steel is very good to use, but on a BB gun like this, doing it just for fun, just for kicks, you don't really need to have a steel plate with a lot of embossing and so forth. It's easy to find softer metals. Yes, if you go to a hardware store and you're trying to buy 1/8 inch up to 1/4 of an inch thick aluminum or any other type of soft metal, you're going to pay through the nose. I get mine for practically a song. I found that when you're going to the thrift stores or flea markets or garage sales, people are practically giving away pots and pans and old useless things like pewter plates and, well, things you wouldn't even think of to use on a gun. And I take them, and there's always enough flat surface somewhere where if you hit it with a sander, you can cut it easily. shaping it with a little saw blade and drilling a couple of holes for the screws. It's a cheap and easy way to make a good thick butt plate for your guns. Done it with this back cut stock right here. Couple screws, you're ready to go. This one, same thing. Just cut around the profile, couple screws. You can countersink them, or you can use round heads like I have here. Doesn't really matter. But it's easy to shape it to the profile of the stock. If you have some irregularities in the stock, you can shape it right to those irregularities. Nothing is holding you back. Everything can be cut down, use a sander on them, a little file work, and it's ready to go. So these are a lot of fun. About the only thing I haven't solved yet is how to make a straight lever out of a curved lever. If you have the straight lever, and if you remember from one of our past videos, putting this piece on here makes it a lot more comfortable because it's wider. You can get your hand in there for caulking purposes. It gives you a good grasp. Up, back. You're ready to go. You can put the loop on a curved lever. If you like to have a curved stock and you want to keep it that way, that's fine. You can put that on the curved lever. You can even put these on your Red Ryder gun without doing any alterations to it. I like to do the alterations. Whenever I cut these down, I like having an original sight, an original loading gate. I take a section out of the main barrel and I put an inner sleeve. I don't know if you can get a good look at this, but there's a little seam right here. I like to put an inner sleeve and fashion this front over top of part of it, sink the other part in as far back as it goes here to the loading trough inside. And then I get to cut the fake magazine. I cut the front off and I put the original plug back on it. If you'll notice, the forearm on this is moved forward as far as I could comfortably get it towards the loading gate and still hold on the fat part of the receiver assembly back here. The reason I do that is because if you move this up farther, it makes the barrel look shorter. It also makes the receiver look larger, and I don't have to add anything to it. Now, in the past, what I've done, I've taken these and I've taken another section and I've put it on here and extended the forearm, but that's really not necessary. I kind of like the way this looks. So, there it is, folks. That's some of the things I do whenever I'm making these mare's legs, and I have quite a few of them now, and I'm hoping some other folks are going to get to enjoy them soon. Don't forget, you want to subscribe to this particular channel, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas, let me know. Well, this is Russ, and we'll see you next time soon.